Café Light on a corner street. Chairs upside down, but I still take a seat. Your laughter hides in the ticking clock, like a ghost inside this dusty rock. We used to trace all our foolish plans on paper napkins and each other's hands. Now every table feels too wide since you stepped out into another life. I stir my coffee just to hear a sound, anything to drown the truth I found. The only place we never grew apart is the part of me that keeps you in my heart. I still remember how you leaned on me, singing along to songs on the late night radio. We thought forever was a simple word, something that love would always know. But time kept moving while we stayed the same, too young to see what we would lose. Now I'm alone with all these yesterdays, and the memory of you I never choose. Your favorite song plays from the rusted speakers, the same soft melody we once called ours. You'd close your eyes and sway beside me, turning broken minutes into golden hours. I see your shadow in the window's glass, fading in the neon, slipping through the smoke. I raise a quiet toast to what we had, to every tender promise that we broke. I could have loved you better than I did, but I kept my softer words inside. Now every silence feels like proof of all the truths I tried to hide. I still remember how you leaned on me, singing along to songs on the late night radio. We thought forever was a simple word, something that love would always know. But time kept moving while we stayed the same, too young to see what we would lose. Now I'm alone with all these yesterdays, and the memory of you I never choose. If I could step back through that cafe door, I'd hold you shaking hands a little more, tell you you were never hard to love. I was just afraid of giving enough. Now all that's left are empty chairs and 1,000 nights of whispered prayers. I still remember how you leaned on me, every note you sang still ringing soft and low. If love returns in some tomorrow's light, I hope it finds you gentle, free and whole. But if we're only meant to live as then, a story is set in worn out shoes. I'll keep pretending I can let you go, with a memory I never choose. step outside into the cooling night, still walking with the younger me who was loved by you. Pulled off the highway just past midnight, old service station with a flickering sign. Reached in the glove box for a map I never used. Found that cassette you made when you were mine, your handwriting on a faded label. Songs for the long way home, it used to say. I laughed a little just to hide the sting. As the years between us fell away, I slid it and heard a gentle hiss. Then your favorite chorus filled the car, and suddenly I wasn't here at all. I was back where you are. This old cassette is playing us again. Two kids chasing yellow lines and dreams. You were singing every harmony, eyes on me instead of on the strings. We thought the road would never end back then. Every mile a promise we believed. Now I'm driving with a ghost beside me, and a love I never truly let leave. The speakers crackle like the way we ended, not with a storm, just with a quiet fade. Different cities, different choices, both of us too proud to say we were afraid. I see your laughter in the dashboard glow, hear your whisper when the chorus starts. Funny how a simple melody can still reopen careful hidden parts. I turn it up so I don't hear myself asking why we let it fall apart. But every line we once sang loud still knows my heart. This old cassette is playing us again. A summer night with all the windows down. You took my hand at every red light stop, spun my worries into something small and brown. We thought the road would never end back then. Every mile a promise we believed. Now I'm driving with a ghost beside me, and a love I never truly let leave. If I could rewind more than just this tape, I'd tell you all the things I never said. How you were home in every passing town, how you were the dream inside my head. But life recorded over what we had, layered years on top of every tune. Still somewhere in these worn out songs, I'm slow dancing with you beneath the moon. This old cassette keeps pulling me back in to the version of us we never stayed. I see you smile in every broken note, hear goodbye in every serenade. We thought the road would never end back then, didn't know how much that faith would grieve. So I let the tape play one last time, then I whispered, I'm ready to leave. Boards still creak beneath my shoes. Same old pier where all our summers burn. The city lights are softer now, but everyone knows you're the one I learned. We used to race the fading sun, bare feet hanging over restless waves. You talk about the life you chase, I'd pretend I wasn't scared of what you crave. Tonight the water holds our shadows, two silhouettes that time erased. I close my eyes and you're beside me, salt and laughter on your face. This is my last night at the pier, saying goodbye to who we used to be. I hear your voice in every breaking tide, calling out the younger part of me. We thought love was stronger than the distant, stronger than the dreams you had to chase. Now all I have are echoes on the water and the memory of your face. The rusted rail still bears our names, carved too deep for wind and rain to hide. You drew a heart around the clumsy letters, said, now we're written with the rising tide. But seasons pulled you toward another coastline, pulled me into battles of my own. We promised we would ride and visit, promises can't always build a home. Sometimes I heard about your victories, new apartments, crowded city bars. I'd raise a glass in quiet kitchens, talking to the ceiling, to the stars. Now it's my last night at the pier, was rooted to this little strip of light. We thought love could hold the whole horizon, keep you here while you were meant to roam. But loving you meant watching you keep walking, even when you left me here alone. If I could have one borrowed hour, back when candles flickered in your eyes, I'd tell you I was never strong enough to say I'm terrified you'll say goodbye. I'd hold you shaking hands and whisper, you don't have to choose between the sea and me. But I was young and quiet with my fear, so I let the waves speak silently. So this is my last night at the pier, before they tear these aging planks away. I'll leave our names beneath the peeling paint, let the river carry what we couldn't say. You're somewhere building lives and stories on shores my feet will never find. But here under this fading harbor light is still the love I left behind. Up, the tide comes in, footsteps washing from the sand. I turn my back on all we were, but in my chest I'll always stand. On this quiet, closing piece of world, where I lost and found you year by year, holding on to every version of us on my last night at the pier. I came back to the house we left behind, dusty curtains framing evening's faded gold. Every floorboard breathed a story from a love that never learned to grow old. On the windowsill above the sink, I found a box we never opened when we stayed, full of letters with your careful lines. Every promise that we almost made, I traced your name like it could bring you back. Heard your laughter in the quiet of the room. Suddenly the years fell off my shoulders, and now we're standing in our youth too soon. These letters on the windowsill hold every version of the heart you gave. You wrote me hopes we never spoke out loud, dreams we were too frightened to say. I read them now with older eyes, learned never sent at all. Folded twice, your ink pressed deep into the page. You said you feared I'd one day disappear, lost in battles with my quiet rage. I didn't know you saw me that clearly, didn't know how hard you tried to understand. While I hid behind my wounded pride, you were reaching for my shaking hands. If I had read these words back then, maybe I would have learned to stay. But we were young and running from the softer truths we feel today. These letters on the windowsill glow like lanterns in a failing light. You built a home inside your sentences, held my chaos gently through the night. I read them now with older eyes, feeling every line I let slip through. You were fighting for a future here, and I was scared of wanting you. I wish I'd said your name with less distance, let my guard fall sooner to the ground. I wish I told you you were home to me, not just another stop in some small town. Now all that's left are folded confessions, words that waited for a younger man. I stand alone inside this empty house, holding proof you always had a plan. These letters on the windowsill turn the past into a trembling flame. Every if and maybe someday soon spells the shape of how you love my name. I read them now with breaking eyes, whisper I was yours, I see it now. But you're somewhere in another life, with someone who knows better how. I placed the box back in the fading light, close the door and let the echoes fill. But part of me will always live with you, and every word you never mailed on that forgotten windowsill. There's a quiet corner on our old back street, where the lamplight leans on broken stone. Every time the city falls asleep, that's a place I still feel less alone. Your window used to glow at 12:15, soft curtain shadows moving with your laugh. We talk about the future like a song that would always find its second half. Now all that's left is faded paint, numbers peeling from the wooden gate. But when the night gets thin and cold, it still remembers what we used to say. Midnight on our street, I hear your footsteps in the rain, so dark, like you're coming back with tired eyes, carrying home your fragile heart. We were so sure love would never break, too young to see the cracks beneath our feet. Now I'm chasing echoes I can't keep, standing here at midnight on our our street. Your old veranda still has crooked rails where we carved our names beneath the paint. I can feel your fingers tracing mine, every promise small and innocent and brave. We swore that if the world turned hard, we'd meet right here no matter where we'd been. But years have a way of changing plans, and we never found our way back in. I wonder if you pass this way on nights when sleep won't let you hide. Do you see the same slow ghost of us in every pool of streetlight on the drive? Midnight on our street, I hear laughter in the windows glow, like you're leaning out to call my name, saying there's still time to take it slow. We were so sure love would never break, too young to fear the cost of what we'd keep. Now I walk the memories we wrote down in the silence at midnight on our street. If I could turn one corner back in time, I'd hold you longer at your front door light, tell you every fear I hid away, ask you not to let me go that night. But all I have are faded signs, a neighborhood that's learned to move along. Still my heart stays parked outside your house, listening for our unfinished song. Midnight on our street, I send a quiet prayer into the cold. Wherever all your roads have led, I hope you're safe, I hope you're bold. We were so sure love would never break, didn't know some dreams aren't ours to keep. So I'll leave my last time, miss you in the shadows at midnight on our street. Lamplight flickers once, then holds, as if it understands my small defeat. I turn away, but part of me will always wait at midnight on our street. They've shut the lights down at the old fairground, rust on the gates where summer used to sing, paper tickets faded in on the asphalt, wind carrying the echo of a distant spring. I wander past the tangled Ferris wheel, paint peeling off the horses as they rest, in the corner by the broken cotton candy stand. I find the photo booth we love the best. I pull the curtain just to taste the past, sitting where you once leaned against my shoulder bone. The bench is cold, the mirror cracked, but I'm not really here alone. 'Cause I still see us in the flash of that old light, you with your hair a mess, laughing at my stare. 4 little squares of a love we thought would outlive every midnight in the air. We were too young to know how hearts can change, too sure that time would always treat us kind. Now I'm holding on to paper ghosts from a life you left behind. The photo strip is curled and almost torn, edges yellowed like a story growing thin. First frame, you're pretending to be serious. Second frame, I let you pull me in. Third frame, both our eyes are closing tight, as if we could stop the world from moving on. Last frame, you're looking straight at me, like you knew someday you'd be gone. I press my thumb against your faded cheek, trying to remember how your voice would sound. It's strange how silence can be louder now than the carnival that once rushed around. And I still see us in the flash of that old light, 2 reckless hearts who didn't know the cost, promising forever in a rented booth, never thinking love could still be lost. We were too sure that nothing breaks for real, too blind to all the distance we would find. Now I'm holding on to paper ghosts from a life you left behind. If I could feed these photographs with bread and step back into every frozen frame, tell that boy to listen when you're scared, hold that girl when she feels small and ashamed. The cameras only capture what we were, not the versions that we're aching to become. So I stand here with my trembling hands, learning how to love what's done. Still I see us in the flash of that old light, you half smiling like you always knew the truth, that some loves live as memories, perfect in the shelter of our youth. I'll let the fairground sink into the dark, leave the rides and all we were entwined, but I'll keep this strip inside my heart, a little row of paper ghosts from a life you left behind. As I walk away, the evening settles down, dust and quiet where the music used to be. I fold the past into my pocket, knowing part of me is always there with you. In that old machine, snow on the old hotel roofs, same town where we once lost the time. You were wrapped in that oversized coat, cold hands tangled quietly in mine. We had nothing but a borrowed room, thin walls, and a flickering TV glow. You said, if the world forgets us both, promise me we'll never let it show. I can still feel your breath in the window steam, hear you humming to a song that wasn't on. Back then, every small and perfect moment felt like it could carry a song. Now it's snowfall after us, covering footsteps we can't retrace. All the years between that fragile night and this quiet, unfamiliar face. I still see you turning in the hallway light, saying please don't let this fade away. But love can slip through fingers, even when we beg it to stay. I drove back here just to see the view, that crooked sign above the sliding door. They changed the name but not the stairs. We climbed laughing, dropping to the floor. On the lobby wall there's a photograph of winter lights along the seaside road. I swear I see your outline by the glass, a silhouette my memory still holds. I touch the frame and feel that younger heart, wild and scared but trying to be brave. We thought forever meant staying the same, not learning how to bend and still be safe. Now it's snowfall after us, falling soft on everything we knew. Every flake a little whispered word from the boy I was in love with you. I still hear you laughing in the stairwell dark, telling me our dreams would find a way. But dreams can lose their color while we're busy making it through the day. If I could walk back into that room, I'd hold your worries closer than your skin, tell you when the world pulls us apart, I'll fight my fear instead of folding in. We didn't fail because we didn't care. We lost ourselves in things we couldn't change. Still in every storm I feel your name, fall like snow against my window pane. It's still snowfall after us on this street that barely speaks my name. You're somewhere learning how to love without the weight of who I became. I'll let the winter take our unfinished song, lay our ghosts beneath the white and blue. But there's a corner of my silent life, there will always be snow and you. The night grows quiet as the lights go down, tires trace the slush and disappear. I turn away from that old hotel, but in my chest it's always clear. I once had all I ever wanted, in a borrowed room with you right here. platform shakes with every passing train. Cold breath rising in the winter air. I see reflections in the station glass, and for a moment you're still standing there. You held a suitcase pressed against your chest, ticket folded in your trembling hand. We joked about the distance like it's small, never knowing how far hearts can span. I said I'd visit when the leaves turn gold. You said you'd write me almost every day, but life learned how to bend our promises until they slowly slipped away. Now these station lights remember us, two young souls who swore we'd never change. You were crying with your back to me, trying hard to hide the fear and pain. I waved like I believed in every word. You smiled like you were sure we'd be okay. But we left a lifetime on this platform when your train pulled you away. Years roll by like the cars you rode, different cities in your careful script. Your letters smelled of coffee and the sea. Every line of place my heart could slip. Then one autumn all the ink ran dry. No more stories from the world you knew. I told myself that you were doing fine, but silence meant a brighter sky for you. Still every time the winter settles in, I feel your shadow standing by my side. The boy I was still reaches out for the girl who never really said goodbye. Now these station lights remember us, two young souls who swore we'd never change. You were crying with your back to me, trying hard to hide the fear and pain. I waved like I believed in every word. You smiled like you were sure we'd be okay. But we left a lifetime on this platform when your train pulled you away. Maybe you found a gentle kind of peace, someone who holds you through the storm. Maybe you outgrew this little town and the boy who kept your letters warm. I don't regret the way we loved too big, or how we trusted what we couldn't see. You were the first to show me how goodbye can live forever quietly. train left without me. The speakers call another final stop. Snow falls soft on every silver rail. I turn away, but in my chest the winter promise still exhales. Some loves never reach the journey's end. They just live in places like this night, under quiet skies and fading signs, and old forgiven station lights. The house is quiet after midnight. Only echoes of our laughter linger here. Your photograph beside the window fades a little more with every year. I still recall the way you held my name, like it was something safe within your hands. But life pulled gently at our promises until they slip like unkept plans. Though I try to keep the past behind, some memories refuse to disappear. They rise like soft and distant stars the moment you feel near. I miss you in the ways I shouldn't say, in the corners of the life you used to touch. I thought time would make it easier, but I still feel your ghost too much. We were young, we held the world like fate, believing love was strong enough for us. I kept your name inside my heartbeat until the stars forgot us. I found the sweater you once left behind, still carrying the scent of summer rain. Funny how the smallest things remain when everything else has learned to change. Some nights I walk the road we used to take, where whispered dreams would settle on your hair. I close my eyes and almost hear you say, you never meant to disappear from there. But life can turn a tender love into a lesson written deep within the skin, and all we were becomes a place we'll never walk again. I miss you in the ways I shouldn't say, in the corners of the life you used to touch. I thought time would make it easier, but I still feel your ghost too much. We were young, we held the world like fate, believing love was strong enough for us. I kept your name inside my heartbeat until the stars forgot us. Maybe somewhere you remember too, a quiet night, a gentle word, a promise made. Maybe love was never lost at all, just softly set aside and never saved. I don't regret a single second, even the ones that broke me when you with silence, but their echoes linger on. I miss you in the ways I can't explain, in the spaces where your tenderness remains. And though I've learned to move with steady steps, your memory still hums beneath my veins. We were young, we held the world like fate, trusting love would always shine for us. I kept your name inside my heartbeat, long after stars forgot us. Quiet sky, whispering your name to where you are. Some love survives the longest night, even when it loses every star. There's a cafe on the corner of our street, same cracked sign, same leaning cherry tree. I pass by on my way to someplace else, but it always finds a way to look at me. We used to take the table by the window, sharing stories over one small cup. You'd circle dates on napkins with your pen, saying these are all the weekends coming up. You love the way September felt, soft jacket weather, leaves about to turn. I love the way you folded both your hands, like every little moment had to burn. Now it's just weekends in September that remind me who we were. I still hear your voice above the dishes, your footsteps on the kitchen floor. We thought love was bigger than the changes, stronger than the distance we'd endure. But I lost you in the quiet days I thought were safe and sure. I kept the sweater you forgot one night, thrown across the back of my old chair. Somehow it still smells like rainy walks, like your hair when autumn filled the air. The radio still plays our favorite song, the one you swore the world wrote just for us. I turn it down before the chorus hits, because remembering hurts, but so does trust. I should have told you when you started drifting, should have learned to say please don't let go. Instead I hid behind my quiet pride, pretending I didn't want you so. Now it's just weekends in September that pull me back to where we'd been, watching movies on a faded couch, letting all the outside noise stay dim. We thought time would always wait for us, that we'd grow like you're not a passing season. You're my home to me. But memory is all I have to hold now, a fragile film that flickers when I sleep. You're laughing over coffee in my dreams, while I wake up with promises I didn't keep. So here's to weekends in September, to all the days I didn't understand, to every joke I should have listened to, every fear I should have held your hand. You moved on to find a different future, one that doesn't circle back to me, but a part of you lives softly in me. In the fallen leaves I see. The cafe lights go out at closing time, chairs on tables, shadows on the floor. I walk past like it's just another night, but my heart is standing at that door, loving you in echoes, letting go in slow surrender, living with a lifetime in a few weekends in September. Weekends in September. I was cleaning out the boxes in the hall, dusty wires tangled like the past. Found that old black answering machine from when we thought our love would last. I plugged it in just out of habit, red light blinking like a tired heart. Didn't know a single button there could pull my whole world back to the start. Then I heard your laughter through the static, soft and nervous on a Tuesday night. You said you'd call me when you made it home, said being in my arms still felt right. Now it's your voice on the machine, frozen in a time I can't rewind. Every hey it's me just checking in cuts a little deeper in my mind. We thought we had 1,000 days ahead, didn't see the cracks in what we dreamed. All I have of you right now is this, your fading voice on the machine. There's a message from the night we fought. You were crying but you tried to joke. Said I hate the way we hurt like this, but I still love you more than I can show. Then another from a rainy Sunday, you were stuck outside my door at 2 a.m. You said if you're awake just let me in, if you're asleep I'll start again. I never knew you left so many pieces, tiny worlds inside each broken tone. I let them sit here all these years while I pretended I'd moved on alone. Now it's your voice on the machine, calling from the life we couldn't keep. Every promise buried in your words wakes a part of me that doesn't sleep. We thought forever meant we'd never fade, didn't know how loud the quiet it'd be when all that's left dial voice on the machine. I should erase them and let you rest, let the tape unwind and disappear, but my fingers shake above the button every time your echo pulls me near. You're somewhere out there living bravely, with different walls and different keys, while I'm here in this half-lit room, playing ghosts on worn-out batteries. So I let your voice play one last time, every call me back a nervous sigh. Then I whispered to the empty room, I'm sorry I didn't know how to try. We thought love alone could save us both, didn't see how much we'd really need. Now the only place we still exist is in your voice on the machine. I pull the plug